Hello, Wade Cox here, and welcome to the Ski with Wade podcast. I've been involved with this sport of water skiing for over 40 years now. I was fortunate enough to be a professional, and now I'm a full-time water ski coach. Today's guest and I will be talking about water skiing. We'll also be talking a little bit about travel and maybe a little about life as well. Thanks for joining us today. Ski with Wade, Cutmore Road. Hey guys, welcome to Wade's World. Two-time world champion, Mr. Will Asher, joining me today. Thanks, Willie. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So I'll go over his resume really quick. If you don't know who he is, if you're a fan like me, you're in awe of his resume. So I already mentioned two-time world champ. Like, it's hard to do better than me. So five-time Masters champion, and I won't be like Dano the Mano, my first
Five
shout
time.
out. Yeah. And then we don't even know, 6, maybe 7-time Malibu Open champion, give or take.
If you count France as a couple extras.
Yeah, or more. Five Cali Pro-Ams minimum.
Yeah.
And recently, 2-time Swiss Pro. It was a big win, right?
Yeah, my goal for the year was to win a pro event, so maybe I'll just quit.
Yeah, that was already it. My first race, bam.
Bam.
Yeah. When you win the first event, you just like, oh man, wow, all the winter work paid off, right?
Yeah. We worked hard this winter, actually. Yeah. So, yes.
So, first of all, something new for me this year. We're going to give you the treatment that this guy gets. We're doing a Syndicate Tour, 15 different dates. It's already been launched on internet, so you should be getting it. If not, go to my website, skiwithwade.com. So basically what you get is what we want this guy to have is when he tries a new ski, the suggestions are from a pro, such as Bob LaPointe, maybe the best water ski mind of all, or his ski engineer, Dave Wingirter. But we want the ski set up properly, and you get to water test it with the pro, which will be me. And this guy's going to join me. He doesn't know this yet, but join me as a guest at least the last 2 stops of the tour, one in Orlando, another one in Miami. So anyway, it's a chance for you to get on the water, try product with you, a new skier, an open water skier, or you're a course skier. We've got product. We make it for you a lot different than things used to be. So I stopped by Travers this morning on my little Florida vacay, and John was setting up a ski. John Travers was setting up a Syndicate Works ski for Chase Sparks, and I got to watch. And so it was really a neat deal because it was similar to the way we would test skis with this young man. So anyway, merch is available. If you want any Ski with Wade merch, my Ski with Wade coaching dates are on the website as well. So yeah, check it out, Syndicate Tour dates. So let's get straight into this since we're already talking skis. Syndicate Works program. This is basically a catered program that you've helped design, and it's basically like Formula One. We're spending money to win, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've had the straight Syndicate program now for many years, and it was successful, but we wanted to really key in on some key points, whether it's design, athlete support, things like that. And we just wanted to set off with a really fresh look at it. And, we came a lot of different events out there use like a works program, whether it's like WRC Rally, they've got the works cars, or cycling, stuff like that. So we wanted to have it's just about the core. We have lots of different categories at HO, and got the free skis, the crossover, and then the high-end course tournament rippers, world championship getters. We just wanted to really isolate that, and it's paying off. It kind of gave it a new focus within the team. Everybody, they got behind it. Dave Wingirter, Dave Robinson, the guy now doing all of our CAD work, all our machining. We've got new facility, and everything is just dialed in. And it's really just the beginning. The factory's been open a couple of months, and we're already seeing stuff that I have never seen in my career. So I am pumped. I'm so pumped.
In a nutshell, our production crew is in charge of the production now.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. So it's an awesome sort of place to be in. I wish I'd have been in that place, but I sort of had that attention early on, and certainly one of my main man, Eddie Beverly, eBev just said, "Hey man, if Wade or Will wins the Masters, I can sell skis, dog."
Yeah.
And you know, that's what the program is about. It's like, no, we want this portion of the product line to be dedicated to win. And I said this to Dave early on, and he sort of digested it. I said, "Dave, maybe not everybody can ride this ski. They need a ski that will slide more or allow them their inefficiencies they can get away with it, right?"
Right. Yep. Definitely. Yeah. No. I'd say my ski for a certain degree is kind of like a Formula One car. You've got to go bloody fast, and you got to brake bloody hard just to make the damn thing work.
Right. No, that's until you're up to speed.
Yeah.
And that's what when we're thinking about skis, Bob included, and we're already assuming the athlete can go fast.
Yeah.
that we're not afraid, that it's go big or go home. And so then it's about, well, what are we going to give the skier to get them what they want? And geez, how much have they changed?
Yeah.
Like from the beginning till you came on tour, which was my end,
Yeah.
to again now, from your start to now, they've changed so much.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of mine, there was like maybe a couple of skis. I'd take one, split it down the middle, and make that the whatever ski, like the entry-level ski. But now it really is its own category with its own test team. And like you try and ride, you ride a hovercraft. And my brother, I got him one, or he bought one. But anyone that can't run the slalom course, he just straight up takes them off their ski, puts them on the hovercraft, takes them 18, 20 miles an hour. They instantly run the course. Like if they can get up on a ski, they're basically running the course.
Well, for sure. That's exactly with the Education, when we take our HO dealers on the water and let them try our new product. Almost 100% of the time, a wakeboarder, wake surfer, non-water skier, they get up on that hovercraft, and then it's already shaped, that surf shape where it grabs rails, releases tail. And then our mid-ride, the Omni, because you, John Travers, Benny Stadelbar, Dave Wingirter, all rode the ski endlessly. Now we've got a new version out. It's our first sort of phase 2 of the Omni, but it is unbelievable how efficient the ski is. And for the level of people from first getting introduced to the course to, 35 off or more. Yeah, that Omni's like right in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, actually, as we were doing this beginning of the vlog here, my neighbor was out there, and he's out behind his outboard boat doing some free skiing. He got himself an Omni a few weeks ago, and he came up to me yesterday. He's like, "Man, that ski changed my life." He had I think he probably had a HO Mac 1. Yeah. I'm like, "Dude, you need a new ski. Like, you're not 20 anymore. Like, just get yourself this ski. You're gonna love it." And he came up to me yesterday. He's like, "Thank you for pushing me, because it has seriously changed his life." And he's out there all the time, just ripping away.
No, it's really cool, because now from top to bottom in our product line, there's a rhyme and a reason for that product to be there. And it was really neat to be sort of a part of that Education a couple weeks ago, going, well, we're seeing the dealers going, wow, this is super easy to follow.
Yeah.
And we've starts at the high end, which we started this sort of segment with Formula One, and I was just watching a race a few weeks ago, and they were talking about the latest production model cars that now had Formula One technology.
Of course. And
it's not, no, this is going from average cars up. No, it's top down.
It's trickle down.
Yeah.
It has to be. Performance is always trickle down, whether it's efficiencies, whether it's better performance. It just has to come from the top. So that's.
So let's talk about cycling, fitness, sort of how they relate to water skiing. Even your Uncle Mike Hazelwood, said, yeah, what's your off-season program like? Because obviously you just won the first event of the year.
Yeah.
Trophies are sitting right there, beautiful trophies. Yeah.
There it is.
So, yeah, what's your off-season program this winter?
So this winter, the end of the beginning, probably this time last year, I got introduced to the foil. So, and I couldn't do it. I was completely hopeless and did more backflips and got too close to that blade than I should have. And then this winter, I'm like, if I don't take this time now to actually get the foil and understand it, then I'm not going to get it. So people will come and ski with me or ask if they can come ski. I'm like, yeah, you can come ski with me as long as you drive me on the foil. So people were skiing, they were skiing, I'll get the foil out and I'd do my laps. And so I did a lot of that. I got to go hang out with Sean Murray one day. I had to drop something off for him. He's like, yeah, you can drop it off as long as you bring your foil. So we went foiling and he taught me a ton.
And it's unbelievable to watch him ride.
Golly.
My gosh, yeah. And the girl, Ansley Pritchard, doing a flip, a back roll on this foil board. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're insane.
You can check on my Instagram. There's a picture of Ansley doing the flip, and I'm like, hey, can I ride and take photos of that, please? Yeah, I've never imagined something like that.
In my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be really cool. Then I saw her do it. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm aged out of that one.
So now let's talk about that, because I heard Keith Albrighton from Lake 38, who always has an awesome pro event. He gets up on the stage with the band last year and with this electric guitar. Yeah. And, hey, he gets 3 or 4 songs, and you could hear him, and turned his amp up enough that, because you can always just get up and turn your amp down and right, be a part of the band silently. Oh yeah, right? But no, Keith's a player. But no, it was really cute because Keith says, he goes in his Florida draw, no, dude, I'm so 15 off 32 miles an hour, and they're like 38 off. You know? Yeah. So that's like the foiling. Yeah. Murray's 35, 38, whatever, and then Ansley's like maybe 39, or, and then you taught me last week my first foil ever, so all I want to do is make my deep waters, and I did. You made them. And that's basically what I am, get up, I'm scared, I'm absolutely hopeless, useless, but yeah, I'm having a blast. I've had like a half 6-8 goes, so anyway.
We'll probably have another go today. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a lesson for life. Like, you've got to be willing to fail, and you got to be willing to get laughed at, and just understand that period of time is going to be really, really short. Like, if you can stick it with something somewhat consistently for a somewhat mediocre period of time, you can go from being complete novice to at a half decent level. So this year I was able to ride with Murray and the good foil guys. I was able to go behind the boat, rip around with them a little bit. Didn't look as cool, but I'm standing there with them. I'm throwing the high fives, and we're doing that. Old Cody Honeycutt, a little wakeboard dude, and it was fun for me to share that space with them. Like, I'm in their world, right, and I'm a complete novice, but I'm also at the top of my game in a similar toad sport world. And then for us to just have that like moment together, to me it was cool. They might not have thought it was cool, but I thought it was cool.
Right. And no, I remember when in the late '90s, sort of, Chris Sullivan and I hurt my shoulder. The doctor and the physio said, you need to swim. I said, I don't know how to swim. I could stay afloat, but I wasn't a swimmer. Yeah. So I got a surfboard, and months later, like you're saying, like, it wasn't a week, it wasn't 2 weeks, it was a few months. We're finally driving to the beach one morning, and Sully says, man, Coxie, I feel like a surfer today. Yeah. I said, well, okay, those are big words. What do you mean? He goes, well, I'm actually going to go and not paddle, but actually catch waves instead of just paddling. And that's sort of that transition, whether
and you know that on the way out there, like you've transitioned now, like you've failed enough and you've succeeded just enough to know you at least got a little bit.
Right. Yeah. And even so, we mentioned cycling. I know you and I did a ton back in the day. Yeah. I discovered it from a few of my sort of crossover water ski friends. They water skied for their hobby. Yeah. But then they were like ripping mountain bikers and road riders, and so I learned a I learned because I got dropped.
Yeah.
It's until you've been drop cycling and you're dehydrated or you're not fooded up or your bike sucks, your wheels suck, and you can't keep up, it's demoralizing. It's the same as wake foiling with the guys that can go all day and you're falling on your deep waters. But yeah, there's something in your confidence as being an athlete overcoming that. And then, yeah, you're sitting there and they're showing up going, oh, that fast guy's here again. Jeez, you know.
I get shouted at quite a lot, yeah. I'm either going too fast or too slow. I can never get it right.
No, he's really, really fast, guys. If you ever cycle with him, if you can just stick to his wheel, you'll be doing good. Promise.
Yeah, one of my new, I mean, there's some really great guys I've got to know close to me, some motocross guys, and I've got to ride with them, and you can really tell a lot about a person when you stick them on a bike. I've started really realizing that. Like, I'm, riding with you, this was probably 2006-ish, probably, right? 2006, 2007. It's before I lived here. I was staying with at your lake, your place on your lake, and then went riding. It's me, you, Wingirter, Parrish, and then Wingirter's, he's strong, you're strong, and then we were just like taking turns, averaging our 23s, 24s, whatever we were doing. And then I'm like, shit, Coxie's tough. Like, you can tell. And at that time, I didn't really know. I was just trying to like not get dropped by Coxie, right? So I'm like, okay, we're doing this, and I'm not going to get dropped. And then now looking back on it now, when I ride with people, it's like if they can stick in, even if like maybe the pace is a little bit too high or whatever, and you see the fight and you see like, okay, this guy's got something different.
No, it does. I couldn't agree anymore. It's sort of, I learned, as I said a few minutes ago, like a different level of fighting. It wasn't, because I was a sprinter. I didn't run much track and field, but I was 100 meters or 400.
Yeah.
If you had to go twice around the track, I'm like, that's long distance, man, Yeah. So, I mean, even 3 mile, the 5K, and I'm like, man, that's far. Yeah. But then I'm riding. What was a really nice compliment was once I got fit, and I'd ridden a while to get my base miles in. I was riding with Mike Ferraro and some of the wakeboarders, and they're like,
smoked them.
No, they're always like, oh yeah, Coxie's fast. They didn't want to admit that maybe I was faster, but yeah, he's fast. Yeah.
Well, you probably remember the time we went on the mountain bikes, and then was it Sugar Hill or something near where you used to live? I think when we were out with a few of them, then we got that long drag on the way back to your house, and we get in the front, we just put our head down and go, and then we just leave everyone in there dust. We're like, these slalom skiers are going to tell these other...
Yeah, no, it certainly, any sport that you sort of take up, if you're, competitively inclined, it's a nice sort of juice to fill, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, circling back around, with these motocross guys, they're obviously super tough, and then getting to ride with them, you can just see their spirit on the bike. Like, they are strong riders anyway. And even if I feel like I'm on my game, it was funny, I was speaking to his buddy yesterday, he's like, yeah, like, this Zach guy's like a barnacle, man. You can't shake him off. Yeah. You feel like you're having the ride of your life. You're like, oh yeah, this guy's for sure dropped out the back. Yeah. You look around, his
right shadow, there on your wheel.
You're like looking, like the sun's in the right direction. You're looking for his shadow under your armpit. You're like, his shadow's still there.
No, it is. It's a neat thing to actually share that bond as well.
Yeah, I like to. Yeah, walking around with whatever, but if you can actually get to suffer with somebody, or maybe, for me, it's a way to grow. So it's a way to discover a darker place, and then just maybe sit in that place for a minute, and then know you're going to survive on the other side. Yeah. So when your heart rate's pinned, 180, the wheel's getting away, you've got to push out a few more watts just to stay on that wheel. They can't hold that for much longer. Like, they're on the edge too. We're both on the edge. Like, who's going to crack first? And
well, I think it was a huge transition in your skiing when you were owning the fact that you're like, hey, we watched me at the end of my career when I was a broken man, hips, back, whatever, and I just basically skied 2, maybe 3 sets a week. That was basically all I could get out of my body, but I was on because I was so physically fit off the water.
Yeah.
And it enabled me to be so fit on the water that I wasn't getting bad looks. And And when you finally said, man, I think I've arrived. I'm not overtraining anymore. I can overtrain off the water, taper, rest, and then your body feels good at the events.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, when you were doing that, I'm like, yeah, right. Like, what's this guy doing? Like, I couldn't understand it because I was still in my infancy as far as my understanding. But now, now being a seasoned veteran, I guess, of the pro field, like I've put my time in to where I really understand myself. Like, I really don't have to ski that much. I don't even have to ski good. Like, I can go out and test leading up to the event, on the event. I know I've got my stuff that works. I don't really care if I've taken a ride on it or not. Like, the set before the Swiss Pro, I missed 39 because I was trying something else because potentially I can make it better, right? So then it kind of comes back to that. So it's like, well, if I'm in shape, I know I can control my heart rate. I know I'm not going to be sat in the dock at 160. I'm going to be sat in the dock probably at 80. That's fine. Like, maybe my peak's going to be 150 for the whole set. Like, I'm not I'm not stressed out there.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because that's when I sort of leading in with that cycling and fitness, because that ability to run a 38 or a 39 and immediately bring your heart rate back down, because in cycling they call it being on the edge. Mm-hmm. When your oxygen is so limited to the brain that your thought process isn't very good. So the better physically fit we are, the less our heart rate goes up. So the more in the end we get it back down to a controllable level. What that is, I don't know if it's 120 or 135 by the time we come back in on the gates, but it's so to the point that we're cognitive completely, and better yet, your vision isn't affected, because the more limited your oxygen level is, the more sort of George Costanza squinty your vision gets, and you just lose your depth perception.
Yeah, it's really understanding your lactic threshold. So it's if you go lactic, which is essentially the point at which your body can no longer process oxygen, it can't process the oxygen quick enough through your body to recycle it and keep everything oxygenated. So like in cycling, I know exactly to the beats per minute when I'm in trouble. So if it's like I can hang out at 160 all day long. 170 is probably gonna be more of like a really, really, really hard hour effort.
Right. Yeah. You're starting to put definitely finite limits on it.
Then I actually have an alarm on my computer at 174. Like, if it goes above 174, like, this had better be like the lead out for a sprint, or it's a hard effort.
You're burning your matches, as they say.
That's exactly it. And a matchbox is only so limited. Hopefully you can build a matchbox over time, but you strike a match over 174, and that could be there's the rider getting away, and you got to bridge back to him. It's like, shit, I guess I'm going to have to go 174. I'm going to pay for this later. I better sit in a wheel. Like, you start to have this story playing in your head. But, I mean, coming back to skiing, that all plays in, because the lower in the zones you can remain, the clearer your mind's going to be able to think. Like, if you're getting to the end of the path and you're above, say, like, shit, if you've gone lactic threshold, if you're over, was it?
Whatever your limit is, 180, 190,
So theoretically, it's 220 minus your age, and it's 80% of that. So whatever that number is, it's actually pretty low if you do the calculations. So, I mean, we did some heart rate stuff the other day. People were almost at their lactic threshold standing on the dock. It's like, oh my God, you are in trouble. Like, this isn't good. And then a few of us, I know mine was really low. Like, I was in double digits before I left the dock, and then maybe I peaked at 150 or something on my last pass. And you'll see a gradual bump. Like, first pass, you maybe get up to like 110, come back to 90. Then you go 130, come back to 110. So I don't know, but
and that was also crucial for me, at least, is understanding my start of the pass. Mm-hmm. I had a rhyme and a reason, and I was going to execute. And the reason I was going to execute, because twofold, I want to get that same look on my next pass from that end, not have to make adjustments.
Right.
And then the second part is, by the time I get my swing off 1 out to 2, I want it to be over.
Yeah.
Hey, this is over. I've got space. I trust my ski. I just get to check out, and now I keep my heart rate there versus, it's climbing up maybe where it shouldn't be early on. And even heard Benny Stadelbar over the weekend at Swiss Pro go, man, if your opening passes aren't so, then you're wasting some of that precious energy, your oxygen. So and by the time you get to your pass you need it, you've already been exposed, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, I learned a lot of that from you. I remember skiing with you, and you're like, I'm just like, I got this with my hands on the pull out for the gate, and then you're just like, that's it? Like, that's everything? Like, come on, there's more going on. Come on, let's chat. No, that's it. But then, like, you like, now I realize that's because you did it for 20 years. Most of the stuff you realize didn't even matter. Like, half the stuff people get coached doesn't matter. Like, most of it.
No, it really doesn't. People get far, far, far too concerned with the technical aspects. Same, far too concerned with the technical aspects of their ski. It should just be like kind of like the Syndicate Tour. You set their ski up, or me, or Travers, or Rob Hazelwood, just go ski on it. Don't ask any questions. Ski on it like this.
You're on a need to know basis.
Yeah, on a need to know basis. And so, part of it was just that. So
like some of the people, I get talking to them, and they'll like, my head will start spinning. They're saying some stuff. Like normally it'd be like, let's have a quick defrag segment, like an old computer. Like just
when I watched the kid this morning, man, he's an awesome skier, qualified for the Junior Masters, and I'm looking at, is he getting swing out on his gate like a pro would getting up on the boat, and then is he getting swing back through the gates? I'm not necessarily being overly critical of his stance, or is he perfecting this or perfecting that? You look at golf swings, tennis swings, basketball shots. Everyone's got their own sort of English on it, their own style, or maybe their arms are longer or their arms are shorter, or maybe they're going to be more crouched but are they getting swing or not?
But there's commonalities, right? Like what's your club speed? Like,
exactly.
Do you have any club speed? Like if you see someone turn in, they're all lazy and like, oh my God, I got to get my hips up, or that doesn't matter. Let's get going.
Like, that's exactly it. Your Uncle Mike Hazelwood, so look him up, guys, one of the greatest all-time water skiers ever. And he said, can you create speed without angle?
Yeah, not really.
No.
Yeah.
So that simplicity, and you were relating it back all those years ago just about being relaxed. It's because I fully trusted that I was going to get the swing. I wasn't concerned with the technical aspects of the swing. Did I get the swing or not? I was judging myself as a pro. I was going to get it.
So but this then comes back down to process, right? Like I was fortunate enough, I got to ski with some legends when I was younger. I got to compete against yourself, Andy, Chris LaPointe, like, the legends of the sport historically. And I was fortunate enough, I got to learn process from you guys. So like, that's actually something I was speaking with Zach about this morning. Like, I feel fortunate that I'm like old relatively now, but I was fortunate enough I got to share those moments with greats of the past. And like, that's kind of led me to a lot of whatever success I've had for as long as I've had it, is just watching great people. And then I wonder, and then I'll see a lot of people now in their process. I'm just kind of like, I don't think you're getting it. So it like comes back to, I mean, I'm not saying I'm right, but I also don't think I'm wrong.
There's a lot of coaches that are Hall of Fame legendary coaches that based all of their theory on process.
Yeah.
That we're going to do it right so many times that we're just simply not going to do it wrong.
Yeah.
And there's certain Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, New England Patriots, greatest football franchise of all time. That's what they did. They're like, we're going to line up and we're going to run our play and we're going to do it so good that it's going to work. And that's like when you line up for the course, you're going to beat it. You execute your swing and get your space, trust your ski. Simple as that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's no time for anything else. Like,
I
got no time.
Where let's just discuss this briefly. That's where, like, I even call it the amateur eye versus the pro eye.
Mm-hmm.
Where the pro eye, you guys are just processing space. Just going, okay, space is there, check. Move here.
Mm-hmm.
If the space is a little bit limited, okay, a little bit different card.
Yeah.
But you're not out at the buoy going, hey, eyes up, handle up, hip here.
Don't drop your head.
Yeah. By the way, don't drop your head at ball 3.
Ball 3. Next time you get to ball 3, no matter what you did before it, just make sure you keep your inside shoulder up.
So at times, I'll be, guilty as charged, giving exact those same tips. Yeah. But it's sort of normally after they've created the space. I'm like, okay, look how much space you got. Okay, now you're going to get that look again and again. And now we're going to add in this little bitty adjustment.
You're going to clean that up.
Just that all it does is simply allow the hips to go out and to come back in. Yeah. Simple as that.
You get it. You get the sequence.
It's just a matter of just that timing. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to make this thing go on for 3 hours, but the only analogy I could come up with is like when we're watching the Matrix movie. The beginning of the movie, he's looking at the screen, it's just zeros and ones, right? And then towards the end of the movie, those zeros and ones are actually a clear picture. And that's what skiing has turned in for me. So like if you went out and skied now, I'm looking at, okay, I can tell what your ski's doing. I can tell if the driver's off. I can tell if maybe the course is like, the whole picture is now come back to one. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, your position's great. Your ski's just doing that. Like, let's fix that. Like there's a whole macro look to stuff.
No, for sure. And I tell people this and they're like, really? I can almost see it as if the boat's going 0 miles an hour. It's not going 34 or 36. It's going a static speed. The buoys are in a static place. They're not going anywhere, right? Once you get to a certain line length, the rope isn't going shorter or longer. It's now that length. So, I sort of almost treat everything as a constant. Yeah. And now we're right back to the beginning. Are you creating speed or not?
Exactly. Yeah,
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you using your tool and creating speed? Right.
The support is actually very simple.
It's a few rights and lefts.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hey, so let's go sort of back to the beginning. Let's talk about skiing with family. You grew up with your brother Thomas, who is an unbelievable jumper on the Pro Tour, was on the podium many times.
He was actually a better slalom skier.
Well, until you came along.
Well, he had all the records, under 14, under 17, under 21 stuff in England. So he was definitely charging it in slalom and tricks and jump. But yeah.
Well, I remember that when I first came to England, it wasn't my first trip, but it was the first time I heard the Asher name, and Tom was already the famous one. And they're like, yeah, and he's got a little brother. Yeah, I'm like, oh, geez, another one, So, so no, and then now you skied with your cousin. I mean, what a vibe,
No, it's really neat. Like
that's handsome Rob Hazelwood. If you see it on the webcast,
Chatterbox. Yeah, can't shut him up.
No, he and I are similar. Yeah, we either don't want to talk or you can't stop us.
I always say he got all the extrovertedness of the family. Him and my mom, like they got it all. I'm just like in the back, just energy sucked.
Yeah, because Mike was always quiet.
He's pretty quiet. Yeah, Tim's pretty quiet. George is more of like the silent assassin. Like he'll come in pretty hard.
Tom was a bit more, certainly when he was younger.
A bit chitty.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. Because I remember we went out on the night a few times back in the day. Yeah,
it can happen. Yeah. But no, so talking about process, I think that was the beauty of Hazelwood Ski World in England. Like we had an idea of what it took for Mick to get where he got to. That was like my granddad always pushed that in. And my dad comes from like a rugby background where he trained super hard. He'd be the guy that bikes to rugby training, like 20 miles there, does his rugby training for a couple of hours, 20 miles back. Like so that's like the mentors I grew up around, and I just thought that was normal. So, And then, like, if you think about our family, so there's who's jumped 200 feet. So it's Mike was obviously the first, who was the second ever to do it. Then you got Tom, then Tim, then Rob, then me. So there's like 6 of us that have jumped over 200 feet. And then
that's nuts. And there's like not maybe more than 50 that have done so, or
yeah, I don't know,
something like that, 40, 50, something like that. The numbers are small.
No, I mean, it's still a big achievement. Like I jumped last year.
No, but I mean the numbers that have actually done it, it's very small, limited number of people have done that.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people, but I think it just comes back to like we just process. I feel very fortunate that my family understood the process. It was never any BS. It was never any. They weren't big on like minute technical stuff. It's just like just get your hips up and cut hard, turn hard, get to the next one, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Like if you miss, like I remember crying because I missed a pass and my granddad made me come in. You missed your pass. You fall, you're in. So that was me from a kid. Like I didn't get a second go. So that's been my thing my whole life. It didn't matter. Yeah, you miss it, you're coming in. All right, I guess we're not missing.
Well, so let's talk about something else you had a huge impact on changing, and you still hold the collegiate national record. It's been 20 years now, right?
That's pretty hard to believe, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Well, 2003.
2003, 21 years.
21
wow.
years, yeah. Yeah, it's time for somebody to come. I think, maybe we can get Charlie Ross to go to college. Yeah, I think. Collegiate skiing guys, if you've got a daughter, son that used to ski or wants to be part of something cool, tell them to join a ski team. It's unbelievable. I've worked with San Diego State, Michigan State, University of Michigan, Cincinnati, down into Texas A&M. They're all over America. It's growing like mad, and now it's a huge deal. They even have the Monday Night Madness when they announced the 24 teams that have. Oh, they do?
Yeah. No, it's super cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
They all go to their party spot or to their ski house, and it's webcasted, and they do the drawing and announce the 24 teams. So it's a huge event now. You should check it out if you get the chance. And so let's talk about some of that next crew I've got labeled Boys to Men.
I just want to quickly say about college skiing. I'd say it saved my life. So I was a bit of a problem child probably, and I didn't have a whole lot of guidance. Or I had guidance from family, but I was a little lost in my own ways and my own ideas. Got to college, structure, had to be on a schedule, had to train, had to make time for everything, obviously. And for me, college was a big change in my life.
I love hearing that, man.
Yeah.
That gives me the goosebumps because, I think it's my kids knew Anne Marie and Davis. They both graduated Florida State, go Noles, but they knew they had to get the piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's just what we joked about. We just so made it insignificant that it was just like making your first 3 passes before you get to try the 4th.
Yeah.
You're going to do this. It's part of the process. It's a test. And so, no, I love to hear that it sort of righted your ship.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Trent Finlayson was like, he was a big help for me. Like he kind of like taught me how to study. He was very studious.
And I grew up with Trent's older brother, Rob.
Of course.
Canadian.
Yeah. A lot of people know Trent. They'll seen him on many of his vlogs and podcasts. He's an awesome guy. Then just the team we had was solid. It was just really, 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 I was very fortunate for the people we had.
Did you have the same coach you have now? Because I really like the guy that's there now.
No, we had Scott and Linda Jones.
Oh, no. Awesome.
Yeah,
love great people.
They were awesome, yeah. And
Scott was a skier on the Pro Tour back when I was skiing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Linda was a collegiate skier as well.
Yeah. Awesome people. Yeah.
No,
that's very grounded, very stable, very like just great for a bunch of like reprobates to just keep us all in check.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about that, being able to just establish that structure. I saw a military guy, I'm sure anybody that follows the web seen it, and he gives the graduation commitment speech about making your bed.
Yeah.
And just the simplicity of it. Yeah. I'm guilty as charged, man. I don't always make mine. But he just talked about that, doing the little things, and that's really what college life is. You got to take care of some of that little stuff, and if you do that, the bigger picture's not so bad now. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Boys to Men, we've already mentioned Rob Hazelwood. second behind you this weekend this past weekend on the podium, and then his little fellow British mate, Joel Poland. All three of you British guys on the podium, but bit of a separation in age, huh?
A little bit, yeah. I think I'm not sure Rob was born when I won my first pro event.
But no, they're. I said it to the webcast guys. I said, hey, those two guys ski with swagger.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you're exactly right, because they have an attitude about their skiing. They have a movement with confidence on the water.
Yeah.
And you just see them, like I spoke about a few minutes ago, creating space before two and crushing it. And, I mean, you see both of those guys just crush passes week in, week out, right?
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, they really are. I'm like, I watch myself ski. I'm like, damn, I'm old school. You know?
No, you're not.
I got some of that old school vibe.
No, you've changed so much. We actually were just chatting about that, even maybe in our prior podcast, because Will was a guest of mine a few years ago, and we looked at that video of your collegiate nationals run, and video of you now, and you look totally different.
Yeah, no, I've changed. I have.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Somebody's saying hello.
Yeah.
So let's continue on. Our soon-to-be men, I'm going to call them, is what about this Aussie dude, Lucas Cornell?
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
So he goes to Moomba this year, wins junior Moomba.
Yeah.
I'm sure he runs 39.
Yeah.
He's the first junior that's ever run 39 on the Yarra.
Which just...
It's insanely difficult. So then he goes into the senior masters, and he's third on the podium. In the big match. Yeah, crazy.
Solid. Yeah, that is solid skiing.
And this past week, I watched him at the Swiss for the first time, and I watched him live, and then I watched him, same vision you guys get at home on the webcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he's good.
I mean, I envy the position he's in, because he's in that sweet spot at the minute where no one really, I mean, people have sure heard, but they don't know. Like, he's in that, he can like fly under the radar and
totally.
He can do his thing, and I just encourage him to appreciate it at the minute. And he might be one of those guys, it doesn't even matter, and it'll be fine. But
so then the next guy, Mr. Charlie Ross, no introduction there now.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's almost like a seasoned veteran, isn't
he?
Well,
let's put this in perspective. He's 18 years old, not even graduated high school, and he's made multiple Swiss Pro finals.
Yeah.
He was there last year, competing for the podium. Same this year.
Yeah, I mean, we've been watching him for a few years. We're like, danger.
No, that's it. Absolute danger. As soon as, because Kevin Michael, another shout out, Kevco, who's the new executive director of USA Waterski. So Kevco's an old wakeboarder, and from the other side of wake sports. And so after he watches Charlie yesterday, I said, hey, isn't his movements like a wakeboarder that just gets more air easier than the next guy?
Yeah.
Or he's that guy that can spin, his rotation's faster than everybody else?
Yeah, he just does. It's like no wasted movement. Everything is for a purpose. And, when you got Drew as a dad, who's someone that has plenty of experience in his own right, it's like, I mean, you're probably not going to make many mistakes. It's probably going to be pretty well thought out, and you can tell on the water, like he's putting his work in. So
no, for sure.
It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. It's only going to get better. So yeah,
only going to get more dangerous. And then the third on my list, a young man that just sort of stepped it up in a huge way this past weekend as well, is Jaime Palomino from Mexico. I mean, same deal. I've been interviewing him on the dock for 3 years, and he's 18. 18 years old.
Oh.
And I brought up these three guys on purpose because they were second, third, and fourth off the dock after our young Moroccan, Camille, who's, what is Camille, 6'5"?
He's a big dude.
6'6" maybe, and he's getting some shoulder caps. So Camille goes 3.5, 39, and the next three 18-year-olds all run into 41.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to the booth,
that's the future.
Hey, have you guys ever seen this before? Because I've not. And I've seen a bunch.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of these events. You get to really see like who's been working, and then where like you're looking at, the next, like in 20 years you're probably going to see those guys. You'd hope, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to hope they've got a bunch of Palmares to their name, like you're saying cycling. They got some Grand Tour wins. Maybe some season championships, a couple of Masters down the road, a couple of Worlds. Like
you just see it in sort of all of those. You just go, they're just going that way. So
without a whole lot of stress, that should be the projection.
It's fun for me because I've been a fan of this guy forever and ever, and then my role on the webcast is to get to hang out and meet these skiers. And then there's my last two. What about the young girls from Chile, Trinidad and Danny, our junior world champ? I mean, is skiing on the rise in Chile or what?
Chile is killing it. Yeah, Chile is. They have some talent.
They do. Unbelievable. I mean,
thank God they can't slalom.
No little. They're going to figure it out, and then we're going to really be in trouble because these two girls,
the trickers and the
Trinidad's already got a score of, I think she's 16, and she's got a score of 5 at 38 on the board, and Danny 17, and she's already U17 world champ. So they're already building resumes. So future of sport's good.
Yeah, I love to see it. I mean, it keeps me motivated because it's more examples of how to do things. Like, and you can watch all the. I mean, it's maybe hard for me to watch Charlie because he's a very different frame to me. I'm a bit bigger, but you can always pick something up. Like for me now, it's very easy to watch someone ski and just pick up ideas. Like, oh shit, that's an idea. Okay, that's pretty cool. Didn't know that was a thing.
No, for sure. There were these certain young men that came along, Jamie Beauchesne, Marcus Brown, Terry Winter, Chris Rossi, and I was like, well, maybe I do need to watch these guys. What they were doing is they were riding the new equipment lighter than I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got to take 20% out. Whatever. And it was just simply because I wasn't being old school. My way is the highway. Mine's the best way. I was like, no, maybe there's a better way to make a mousetrap.
Yeah, you're humble enough, you're mature enough to see that it could be better ways. And really in your career there wasn't many examples of that for many years. You had Andy, who was a beast. I mean, he could go harder than anybody at any point in the course. Like his 2.4 was just submarining, and then he's pretty.
So you noticed that as well?
Oh yeah, I tried to do it. I'm like, I can't slam dunk like
exactly.
that.
You tried it. You go, no, I can't do that, man.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to drop the hip a little bit and keep that inside shoulder up.
Moving right along.
Yeah, and it ended up being a better program in the end. And then but people come along, and it like Nate, obviously, you can watch him ski. Like, well, I don't actually think I could even do that. Yeah. That's.
Well, then same. Do you have the same frame? No.
Yeah,
no. That's so. Some you look at a Mike Shaylander.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that guy was 6'5", 210, like Paris or something. I'm like, I'm just not that big. I'm a much smaller frame.
Yeah.
Although I'm, certainly a lot bigger than a guy that's 5'10".
Yeah. But if you could so you could don't get into like the fine pencil, but you could airbrush like a pattern of skiers. If you take somebody that can run 38, 39, 41, I bet even if you're airbrushing, it's going to come down to a pencil line. Like you can learn a lot. There's ways to do it. There's not multiple ways to run 41. There's pretty much one line. You better be on it. Like you can't come into it flat. You can't come into it too wide. Like there's a way of doing it, and it like you can still learn from everybody. Like it doesn't have to be technique. It doesn't have to be where he's got his pinky or he turns his head like this. But there's if you can broaden your horizon, you can pick something up from almost anybody.
For sure.
Yeah,
So
make it relative. But
speaking of broadening our horizons, it does look pretty flat out on your lake. This is Sawmill Lake?
Sawmill.
And
they're already finding out the competition already.
I'm going to delete that out.
The competition already. We've got Dane. Everyone's moving in.
Yeah. So then people spying on you. So no, man,
it's very busy. It's very rolly. It's horrible. Jet skiers.
It's really open to a lot of wind.
Yeah. Nightmare of a place.
So Anyway, we're going to go foil since it's crap conditions for skiing. And yeah.
Can't wait.
So anyway, thanks, Willie. Appreciate it, man.
You.
So go to my website, skiwithwade.com. My older podcast will be on there. The Syndicate Tour, so you should coming out end of the year. Like I said, I'm going to have him as a special guest. Word on the street is that maybe Chris Parrish and maybe a member or two of the Syndicate team might be joining on other dates. So check it out, the Syndicate Tour on skiwithwade.com. Any other merch you got on there? I guess that's about it. So another edition of Wade's World wrapped. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Ski with Wade, cut more rope. That's a wrap this week for Ski with Wade podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to email me at wade@skiwithwade.com or direct message me on Instagram or Facebook with any questions you may have. We'll cut more rope next week. Ski with Wade.